Hello folks, live chat 153 coming to you from Brooksy's Bass Corner here in London, here in the UK. Hope you're all safe and well. It's 6 o'clock Sunday evening. It's live chat time, isn't it? Good to see you. I see Stacey's messaged already. You got in before Lewis Wingrove. Yes, you did. Well done there. Hope you're all safe and well. Hope you're doing good. If you've been out playing over the weekend, hope your gigs went well. It's desolate shore here. I haven't done a gig since the 20th of December. I've never known a time like it apart from COVID. It's quite bizarre. It is what it is. It's fine. I'm working on the new magazine. I'm working on the channel, beavering away on videos for the past 4 or 5 days. These are the eyes of video editing, I can assure you. Lots of it going on. Been editing all afternoon. It's all good. It's all good. It's all... Oh, he's kicked off. Don't know what he's kicking off for. The Amazon man's already been, so you missed that one. Right. Come on in. Come on in. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players, albums with great bass playing on. If you've got problems with your gear, let us know. If you've got technique issues and you don't know how to solve it, then come on in. Ask us. We'll try and help. It's what we're here for. Here for a couple of hours, usually 3 hours. If it goes a bit quiet, we'll do 2. But like I say, we're talking bass guitars. So come on in and ask your questions. If you're looking for some advice, maybe on some gear or technique stuff, putting your first pedal board together, going to your first bass audition, maybe you're looking to buy a new bass, new pedals, all that sort of thing, ask. That's what we're here for. Try and help you as much as we can. If I can't answer it, then as you put the comments and questions in the live chat window, everyone who's frequenting the live chat can see those questions. We all try and help each other. That's what we do. Hello, Gareth. Good to see you. There's Stacey again. Good to see you too. If you're wondering why I'm rubbing my hands, it is cold here today. We've got the heating on, but my word, it's cold. It's been cold all weekend, but there we are. Spring is coming. Can't get here quick enough, frankly. Adrian, good to see you. So yeah, come on in. If you've got any questions about basses, bass guitars, bass amps, great bass players, setting up effects pedals, all that sort of thing, ask away. That's what we're here for. If you're new to the live chats, this is a live chat, obviously. This is the video window. If you're on the mobile app, the live chat window is directly below. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. You'll see some comments. We've got 4 or 5 comments there. At the bottom, you'll see a rectangle that says chat or comment. Put your cursor in there, type your question or comment, press send. It'll appear here in the live chat window. Next to that box, you'll see an emoji icon. Feel free to give that an absolute pummeling. It helps the live chat video in the eyes of the YouTube algorithm. And then next to that, you'll see a rectangle with a dollar symbol in. That's called Super Chat. So if you want to help the channel, help me, help the video, you can donate financially to the channel if you wish to do so. You don't have to. The videos are free to watch. The channel is monetized. So we have a facility on every single video here on the channel called Super Thanks, which is basically the same as Super Chat, except Super Chat exists on the live chats and Super Thanks exists on every video anyway. Oh, messages are flying in. Gareth, need to get your MarkBass head looked at. You need to find someone who's good at it, because the problem with a lot of MarkBass stuff is it's actually cheaper for you to buy a new amp than it is to have it repaired. Just the economics of it, Gaz, I'm afraid. They've made it this way. MarkBass, very clever in that way. They've basically created their technology, their circuit boards and the chips and stuff on there. It makes it very difficult for repairmen to repair them. They might be a MarkBass authorized repair shop. Still, I get the quotes before they do any work, because I've heard various stories of people putting MarkBass amps in for repairs. The guy says, oh, it's going to cost this, and then they have to start ordering up chips and this and that, and in the end it costs more than the new amp. So just be aware. So what are you saying? Need to get your MarkBass head looked at. It started clipping almost as if the gain is too high, but running the gain at around 9 o'clock. Good job you had your elf on your gig bag. There you go. Electric Lowen. Hey, oh, sorry for not being on here much. It's okay. As most of you know, my dad is battling against cancer and he had major back surgery. Yes, he had to have emergency surgery a couple of days ago. Mate, thinking about you. Thinking about you. Brittany Dickens, hi, welcome. We're talking bass guitars here. Feel free to get involved in the conversation if you so wish. Electric Lowen, and he was rushed to intensive care unit after the surgery. Oh, goodness, you are in the wars, sir. Well, you have my thoughts and best wishes, condolences, sympathies to your dad. I hope things improve a bit, but I think on one of the previous live chats you did say he was quite elderly, so all we can do is hope for the best. Hope for the best, but thoughts and best wishes going out to you. So like I said, we were going through the bits and pieces on the live chat. So you've got the live chat window, you've got the comments box, you've got the emojis icon, you've got the super chat facility. Again, if you want to help the channel financially, you can. We aim to keep this channel running for 20-25 years if it comes to it. But if you wish to help me, the channel, everything you see in the videos, the lights, the stands, the cables, the mics, boom stands, pedals, basses, amps, everything you see in the workshop videos, all of that comes out of my pocket. So if you want to help the channel, keep it ticking over, everything working as it should, feel free to use that super chat facility. Underneath the video window, you'll see a row of icons. There's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Please give the video the thumbs up. Makes the most important thing you can do for the video, for me as a creator, for the channel. Thumbs up. They cost nothing. It's just a click of your mouse, a tap on your phone screen or your tablet. Westfort, good to see you. But it helps the video progress through the algorithm. The more thumbs ups we get, the more this live stream gets pushed out to other bases on YouTube. And then we get more bases come in. We have more knowledge to call on. That's the way it works. But if you can give the video a thumbs up, that'd be fab. If you're going to give it a thumbs down, then please leave a comment in the comments section, not in the live chat, but the comment section of the video. Let me know what you don't like. I can't make the videos better if I don't know what the problem is. Next to the thumbs up and the thumbs down, you'll see a share arrow, so you can share this live chat out to social media, email and websites. There's a watch later facility. You've then got the super thanks facility, which is the love heart with the dollar symbol in. Works the same as the super chat facility. Basically, it allows you to donate money to the channel if you wish to do so. Then we go into description box. You'll find timestamps in there for this video from about midday tomorrow. So if you're watching this video after we finish, the timestamps allow you to jump through the video. So, excuse me. I've just finished off a plate of curry and something was on the end of my tongue. Sorry about that. We'll carry on, shall we? The description box timestamps will allow you to jump through the video, jump between the different sections of what we're talking about. So if you haven't got 3 hours to spend watching a live chat and you don't want to run it at double speed, which allows you to watch a 3-hour live chat in an hour and a half, if you go to the timestamp section, you can hit those timestamps and it will take you to that point in the video. So if there's only 2 things in tonight's live chat you want to watch or listen to, you don't want to listen to all 10 things or more that we talk about, you can click on the timestamps for those categories, those subjects, and it'll take you straight through in the video. After that, you'll find Brooks's Bass Corner merch links. I think there is an offer on. Just bear with me a moment, folks. I will quickly check with Spreadshirt and Spreadshop. I did check it the other day, but the offers and the promos are going so quick on there at the moment, it's hard to keep up. Here we go. We want to log in, would be good. Yeah, Europe, thank you. Go to Brooks's Bass Corner. Hey, there we are. Promos. Promo campaigns. We are at the 15th. So up until midnight tonight, it's 25% off, which has been running since start of play yesterday. So 25% off everything across all the stores, all items. Brooks's Bass Corner merch, 25% off up until midnight tonight. That's how that works. So you got the affiliate links for the Brooks's Bass Corner merch. After that, you got affiliate links for the Bass Centre here in the UK. top cashback and VIDIQ. You've then got bass related affiliate links for Amazon and THOMANN. So if you've got any bass related purchases, maybe some strings, gig bag, a new pedal, new amp, new bass, anything to do with basses, bass guitars, if you use those affiliate links, when you go through the purchase, the channel gets a small, I do mean small, affiliate commission, but all those small commissions add up to a bigger amount, and that also goes towards keeping the channel running. After that, you'll find social media links. You'll find some Facebook, Instagram, BeReal, Reddit, Quora, Discord, and TikTok. There we go. All done. Electric Lowen, he's going to be 64 this year. Your wishes and prayers have been sent. And because he couldn't really speak, he started to cry. Oh, because he was so moved by the support. Well, there we are. Folks, enjoy your time. Make the most of every day. Soulstart. Hey, I've got a Gensler Magellan 350 with a Gensler cab. Looking to warm up the tone, add something to your pedal board. Any ideas? Yes. Sounds like you might want to look at maybe a preamp pedal. Maybe. It depends when. See, I get people describe their tone as warm, or they want to warm things up. Are you talking valves warmth? You talking EQ warmth? You can change your tone dramatically just by changing your strings. If you usually use steels or round wounds, maybe think about moving to nickel strings, heavier gauge maybe, half wounds. Half wounds are a good compromise between flats and rounds. Takes a lot of that sort of zingy top end away. Alternatively, you can go for flats. Maybe tape wounds. These are all options. Save you having to buy pedals. A set of strings are going to be cheaper than buying a pedal. You thought of a low gain overdrive, okay, to give a tube-like sound. Well, maybe. Tubes are tubes. It's hard to get away from the physics of tubes, and I know because I've just had an amp rig from Orange for review for the magazine, which had tubes in, and it didn't matter how much we pushed that gain. Could I get those tubes to saturate? I just couldn't get it. They just weren't distorting. You got the rich sort of coloration and a harmonic resonance that you get from tubes, which is what you want tubes for. But some people, a lot of bass players automatically equate valves in a bass head to distortion. That's not always the case. You might get some low-level distortion, which is what we were getting with this amp, but it wasn't like an oversaturated blah, you know, that kind of full-on overdrive. So a pedal normally isn't going to be able to get you that, although there are a couple of pedals that have valves in. EBS did one. I think it was called the Valve One, I think. And other companies have done similar. But again, you need to go and try those things out rather than just buy them on spec and think, oh, well, you know, that will do the job. You probably buy it and find that wasn't what I wanted. A lot of these things, I strongly suggest, if at all possible, go to a retailer where they've got pedals and preamps and what have you, and just experiment, try things, take your bass with you. If you can take your amp with you as well, more the better. If they've got what you use in the shop, then, you know, check with them beforehand and use what they've got. But in terms of preamps, I mean, there is so many. Literally every pedal manufacturer now has a preamp pedal. Look at the Aguilar Tone Hammer. It's what I use. I'm very happy with it. I've had it for, goodness, 8 years. Every sound man I work with looks at it and goes, oh, I love that. And it's like, great, okay, we're in a good place. There's the new one from Walrus that Ian Martin Allison is connected with. Again, how much money do you want to spend on this? Because if changing your string type gets the sound you want, new set of strings might cost you 30 quid, $30. It's going to be a lot more cost effective than a preamp pedal. I'm just reading through your messages here, just see if there's anything. Valve warmth is what you meant. You have nickel strings on at the moment. Okay. I suggest, well, I mean, you could go straight into buying pedals and preamps. I suggest change your strings first because it's a cheaper option. You might just find that that does what you want to do. A set of flats is certainly going to get you in that ballpark. But again, there are so many different types of flat wound string. They're not all the same. They don't all sound the same. They don't feel the same. If you want to go down the pedal route or the preamp route, again, none of them are the same. They all kind of have their own sort of characters and sort of tonal coloration. So I can't say one solution is going to do everything you want it to do. So I don't know what the sound is you are thinking you're hearing in your head. A preamp pedal will get there, but if you've got a good amp, which you have, I mean, are you using an active bass, a passive bass? If you use an active bass, you've already got a preamp in it. Maybe some fret wraps might help. Take away some of the sort of resonance and harmonics that are flying off your strings. Maybe use a bridge mute, maybe. But again, I don't know if that's too much going the opposite direction for what you want. Vissel, good to see you. Sorry for tardiness. Hey, you've only just appeared. Don't worry. Thing is not much in London. Super helpful. Thing is, you're not much. Right, you okay, got you. If it's a financial thing and you're constrained by budget, I'd go down the strings route, because that might just automatically change to what you think you're hearing. If it is a valve thing, there, as I say, there are pedals that have valves in. You're stumping me because I can't. You play a passive P bass, okay? Well, you're already kind of there, aren't you? So maybe an EQ pedal might get you what you want, allowing you to boost more bottom end without going too woolly. Maybe boost your low mids and take some of the top end down. That might help. Do you play with a pick or fingers? I mean, you could always incorporate some palm muting when you're playing, where your palm rests over the strings towards the bridge. Play with your thumb and your fingers. That'll take some of the extra clarity away. Is there a sound? Is there like an album or a song or a player that you're referencing and they've kind of inspired you to get you play fingerstyle? You're kind of already there. I think if you... I seriously wonder if maybe going for a set of half wounds, again, there are different types, and if half wounds don't get you there, then maybe look at some flats. I think, like I say, for the sake of one or two sets of strings, that's very little outlay compared. You love Paul Jackson. I think he might have used flats, you know. I think. Google is your friend on this. Just, well, look, let's have a quick look, shall we? Bear in mind, the sound you would have heard from Paul Jackson would have been coming through recording desks and everything else. He used dead rotor sounds 66 swing bass round wound strings. Well, okay. Well, you can either buy a set of round wounds and absolutely kill them off, or you can pay me a $5 and I'll send you a set of my old strings, because they will be utterly dead. If you have the set that came off my... Well, in fact, I could do you a deal here. I could sell you the strings that I use for the Bass String Experiment series. They did 73 shows. And they're deader than a tramp's vest. So you could have those strings if you want. I suspect Paul Jackson was using dead rotor sounds because at the time rotor sound were freely available. Well, say freely, I mean they were available readily in shops, so he probably just put a set on and absolutely killed them to death. I think a set of flat wounds is probably going to get you closer than anything else, really. But if you're set on a preamp pedal or some sort of EQ or something else, then you're going to have to get out there and try some of this stuff. Or, it's Mike, by the way, not Martin. Oh, Martin further up. Sorry. Or alternatively, you're going to have to look at some demos on YouTube. But I mean, you can look at any of the preamp pedals. If you can find one of those EBS ones with the valve in, that might be a good way to go. Yeah, I think you've got a lot of options there. Basically, I think you've probably got to create a list of the sort of viable paths. So you're looking at strings, string muting, preamp and EQ pedals, and after that, it could be a combination of all of them. Martin, the TC Spark Boost is fairly inexpensive, can give a little something towards tube drive sound. Okay. I mean, you might, I mean, have you considered a Sons amp, one of the original bass drivers? Because they're kind of geared around an Ampeg sound, an Ampeg tone front end in a solid state box. That might get you in that ballpark. Stacy, oh my goodness, Electric Low, all the comforting vibes sent your dad's way. Yeah, there we go. Westford, all the best to your dad, Electric Low. And hey, beat after beat, good to see you. I would do that if I were you, and I was going for this thing. I would look at the strings, look at the muting and resonance of the instrument. Have you got? Is it a maple fingerboard or a rosewood board on your Precision? Because the maple board is going to make it slightly brighter, a little more clattery. Might be worth well, I don't even know if it's a consideration, replacing the neck with a separate neck with a rosewood board. Maybe. I know people have done it. Maple board on an ash body. Well, haha. Okay, right. Well, you're going to get lots of harmonics and resonance flying out of that. An ash body is very resonant. Things jump out of an ash body. Maple fingerboard as well. You're going to get bright tones. I think, yeah, you kind of need to rein in the frequencies that wood and whatever the pickup is as well. I'd try the strings and some fret wraps and see if that helps you. It's not going to give you valve characteristics. Only a valve will do that. Like I say, you plug into a solid state amp, whether it's got a valve in the preamp or not, then go into an all valve amp. It's a totally different experience. I mean, my editor for the magazine and I was sat in my lounge with 2 new rigs that we had to review. And we went from the PV, which is gone. I'm pointing as though it was there. I got used to it being there, to the orange. It was like, whoa. The orange is only 200 watts. Yes, but they're valve watts. That's the difference. People look at valve amps and go, oh, it's not very loud. I've got solid state amp here. It's 800 watts. Yeah, but that's solid state watts. Valve watts are a totally different animal. You got a Bartolini pickup in there. You know, you're going to get a lot of mid-range with that. I think you've got a lot of... Are we trying to tame the frequencies, or are you trying to give your bass the characteristics of a valve amp? It's a different thing. It's a different thing. And the only thing you can replace a valve amp, the only thing that's going to produce a valve-like sound is a valve amp, truly. It's a different thing. That's why I didn't have a valve amp until... Although I'd had the Hartkey and the EBS both had valves in the front end. I didn't have a proper all-valve amp until I bought the Mesa Boogie Strategy 888. I'm pointing over there, but I'm not going to tilt the camera because you see the mess in the office. And when I reviewed that amp, it was like, whoa, crikey. I'd played through a Mesa Boogie 400 Plus when I did the Bonnie Tyler tours. And that amp, or those amps, blew me away. I was like, okay, right. I understand now why people are so fanatical about those amps. And when that came along for review, that was kind of what replaced it in the Mesa Boogie, Mesa Engineering catalogue. That was like the new flagship. Not cheap. Weighs a ton. Full of valves. but you hear the difference. As soon as you plug in, it's like, oh, it's a different thing, isn't it? Suddenly everything's bigger and fatter and less restrained in the frequencies. And when you start playing around with EQ and all of that, suddenly it takes on a whole new life. If you've not played through a proper valve amp, or maybe you have years gone by and you haven't played one for a while, it's a big difference. Yeah, I think kind of you need to decide whether it's you're trying to tame what that bass is doing, or you want the characteristics that a valve amp is going to give you, in which case the amp you've got isn't that. You might get into the ballpark with a pedal with a valve, but you really need a valve amp for that. The bass is rather bass heavy, but the maple makes it very aggressive. When you dig in, it'll have pronounced upper mids, which is what the precision I use for the Queen show, which is over there. The 70s FSR precision Fender special release over there is exactly that. Big ash body, maple board, totally different to the other precisions I've got. You've played through a B15. Okay. Well, a B15 is like the classic small valve amp. Yeah, your amp isn't going to do that. And I'm not sure if there's even a pedal that copies that. You might look at maybe some of the Ampeg stuff, because there is a DI EQ pedal. I think, is it the Cruncher? I know there's the Scrambler. But again, you might want to look at some YouTube demos to see if that's producing the sound you want. As I say, nothing can totally replicate the sound of a valve amp. So yeah, if that's what you're after. Yeah, there's a lot of possibility. Like I say, you could probably order 5 pedals. None of them are going to get you the tone that you're kind of after there. Bear in mind, if you're referencing Motown, then a lot of the times, you know, if it's a James Jameson line, yes, it went through a B15, but it's a Fender P bass of that vintage with totally dead labella strings on, as heavy as you can get, covered in chicken grease, played with one finger. So there's variation there. Speaking this through with you made me realise either strings or a different bass with a different fretboard. Could be. The ash body will seriously contribute to how that sounds. Swamp ash is different, because swamp ash is a less dense version of ash, and it's lighter. But regular ash, I mean, that FSR 70s P over there is like an anchor. So it comes as no surprise that a lot of 70s precisions and jazzes that were made with ash weighed a ton and developed a reputation for being excessively heavy. But then again, a lot of 70s jazz basses have a sound of their own, and I think that ash contributed to that. Pick up an Alder jazz and compare it with an ash bodied jazz. Very different. Very different. Alder is a bit more, what's the word? Plain in how the tone comes through. It sort of offers less resistance to string tone. Ash will add its character into what the strings are doing. Your bass is very heavy. It's a 78. There you go. Yeah, put that on a chain at the back of a boat and drop that down, and that boat's going nowhere. Yeah, you got a few quandaries there. I mean, again, if you're going for that Motown sound, well, you're going to have to move on to some flats, because that's what Jameson's tone was built around. You may need some bridge muting as well, so you might want to look. Well, there's the, bear with me 2 seconds. We discussed this before. There's the groove gear thump, which basically goes over the strings at the bridge, and that acts as a mute. There's the Nordy mute, of course, and there are various other contraptions that companies make. So, you know, they can get you in that realm, but it's not going to give you the exact tone. But if you're going for that Jameson thing, then you kind of need to look at what Jameson was using. And at the end of the day, you've got to remember it was all going through studio desk. Who knows what, you know, EQ and stuff they were putting on there. But there's all those sort of parameters to deal with. So, yeah. Have I played GHS pressure wound strings? Yes. I've got a G&L LB100 with exactly those on here. They came fitted with them. Sorry. They're basically half wounds. Yep. Brighter than half wounds I've used, to be fair. My favourite half wounds were Piccatos, but obviously Piccato as a company doesn't exist. The brand still exists. They're not the same strings though. And unfortunately I've used all my supplies of them. So I wish I'd bought a lot more sets of them when I had the opportunity, but I didn't. But these are okay. They're okay. But like I say, I think a lot brighter than the half wounds I'm used to. But yeah. Yeah, I think you've got a few things to consider there. Again, I don't know what your budget is. I don't know how much you're willing to throw at this. If you're trying to achieve that sort of Motown Jameson sound, then there's a lot of parameters there that you're going to have to look at. So, yeah, good question, though. Good question. Well done, sir. If I can be any more use, then, you know, fire some more messages at me and see if I can help you. Like I say, the Sons app might be worth a check out. It'll get you in that Ampeg sort of realm. Personally, if I was buying a Sons amp now, I'd go for the more modern version, which has got MIDI EQ on it. The one I've got is from the late 90s, original bass driver. There's no MIDI EQ on it, and it does make it a bit sort of top and bottom and nothing in the middle. There's a presence control, but that doesn't replace what a MIDI EQ does. So yeah, there we are. There we are. Anyone else wish to contribute to this? Feel free. It's 6:30, live chat 153 here on Brooks's Bass Corner. Hope you're all doing good. I need to put the that on, don't I? I keep forgetting to do that at the start of the chat. It's all guns blazing, and then I remember halfway through. Sorry. There we are. Let's just check everything's running. I'm guessing everyone can hear and see everything. Fine. Got a new subscriber. Thank you very much if you're watching. Grand. Welcome on board. Hope you find some content on the channel that works for you. We've had 150 views already in half an hour. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. That's all there. Stream health is excellent. That's what we like. And that one also is excellent. Good. We're firing on all cylinders here. So how's everyone doing? Anyone, any new purchases? Anything you're looking to acquire? Let's have a look here. Have I played the Dario and Rotosound half wounds? Rotosound, yes. The Darios, no, not to my memory. Rotosound half wounds are great. I've got them on, they're called pressure wounds in the Rotosound catalogue. I have them on my Lakeland 5502 over there. So that they have the feel of round wounds, but without all that sort of top end fizz and sizzle. They're slightly tamed. Nice. If you like swing bass strings, you kind of get that feel, that gnarliness, but without the sort of accompanying spiky tone. They're a little more reined in. The Darios I haven't tried though. Michael Anthony, good to see you. Been trying to connect to this stream. We had a big storm blow through last night Internet keeps coming and going. Everything's coming and going these days, I find. So you might disappear. Well, I hope you don't. I hope you manage to stay the course. Hope you're well. Hope your bass playing's going good. So have you got any questions? Any bass questions? Can be gear related, player related, technique related. Whatever works for you. Fire away. We're going to do a couple of hours tonight. Demos will be appearing in the next couple of days. I've just been finishing off the magazine reviews for the new sampler issue, which we've been speaking about over the past couple of weeks of live chats, and getting those off to my my editor. He's a very busy chap. Not surprised. I think he'd forgotten quite what this magazine lark entailed. So he's been working every hour God sends. Leo, thinking of putting some pink DR strings on the JD. Do you use DRs? Don't think they do pink DRs in your gauges. I think the neon strings are stuck at 4000s and 4505s. Could be wrong. Electric low end. Forgot to mention that emergency surgery was because punctured large intestine. Oof. And hospital staff probably were at fault. Oh my, in the other hospital. So much happened during the last few weeks. Mate, I hear you. You guys are in the wars there. Michael Anthony, prayers and positive thoughts and energy to your dad and you. It's a terrible job being a caregiver. Yeah. Difficult times. Yeah. Okay. So it's been a little quiet on the channel this week. I've been exceptionally busy. I was at my folks' Monday and Wednesday. Just 1,000,001 things all happening all at once at the moment. And the video review stuff for the magazine. And. It's just like jobs. But there is light at the end of the tunnel starting tomorrow. So it could well be the Alembic Persuader demo goes up tomorrow, I think. And I'll try and get another one out this week as well. Leo, don't use DR. Yeah, they don't have them in your gauge. I didn't think they would. Those things do look cool, but you really, to get the most out of them, you need to be playing somewhere where they have a UV light. Otherwise, they don't really have much effect, to be brutally honest. UV light is the win-win for those. If you use Google, you can search for DR neon strings under UV light, and you'll see what happens. But in regular light, they just look like pink strings. There's nothing particularly standoutish about them. Soulstar, actually, you've got another one. That's okay. Keep firing away, sir. I know the first instrument cable is important in terms of signal quality. Okay, you've got a Megami. Is the quality of lead that goes from your last pedal to amp as important? On that basis, you would need to make sure that every patch lead is of a high quality. To be fair, I use Ernie Ball patch leads, and I use whirlwinds at the start and at the end. If you're in a recording situation, I mean, the whole discussion about lead quality and cable quality has been going on for decades. It's no different than the discussion, and we've said this before on live chats, no different than the discussion about hi-fi separates and hi-fi quality sound by old men in their 60s and 70s. They've lost the quality of their hearing. So when they go, oh, you know, I can definitely hear a 1 dB drop in the 100 hertz. No, you can't. Your hearing's going. I've got raging tinnitus I've had since December in one ear. I've had tinnitus basically for about 15 years, but I've got a real thing going on in that ear at the moment. So when old timers tell you they can hear every nuance, and it's crap. They're talking rubbish. Your hearing deteriorates over your life, just as your sight does. So, and again, I've seen this discussed by older gents and ladies on various bass forums for the best part of 30 years, where they will spend fortunes on their cables. And as I say, there comes a point your hearing is getting worse, whether you like it or not. It is deteriorating. And you can have all the best cables in the world. It doesn't mean you can hear the benefits of it. And my perception of it, unless you're in a studio, in which case most top quality studios will provide the cables that they want you to use anyway. On a live situation, and again, if you were playing with big names, all of that stuff gets bought. You don't bring your own. It's all provided. You literally walk on stage and plug in. You're not taking your cable from your little gig bag that you use on pub gigs. So if you're a working pro, good quality cables, absolutely. You don't want rubbish. But at the same time, you can spend a full fortune. A small fortune, it's already happening, isn't it? You can spend a small fortune on cables and never hear the benefits of it. And I said the other week, I've been using Whirlwind cables since September 1996. And in all that time, and I've bought quite a few, I've only had one that's now 30 years in. I think it was one of my original cables. It's starting to give me a problem. So if you're going to go down that, my cables have to be of the highest quality, then you have to make sure every single cable in your link pathway are all of the same quality, and make sure that the cable connecting your amp to your cabinet are of the highest quality. But I could tell you, you can buy all that stuff, and we could do a test in a recording situation and a spectrometer and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised you don't really see too much difference. And if you're a gigging musician, your hearing's going to get battered, and from the drums, the amplification. I'm not convinced that IEMs aren't causing me an issue, and probably causing other people, because all you're doing is blocking off your ears and turn the volume up on the IEMs. It's no different than not having something in your ears, and there being a lot of residual sound around you. And I wouldn't be surprised if this ringing I've got in that ear at the moment is because of IEM use. I wouldn't be surprised. So that's my take on it. If you wish to spend lots of money on your cables, you go for it. But I tend to use the best quality I think I can afford, and that's reliable. If I heard a problem, like if I took my pedal board with my Ernie Ball patch leads somewhere and they said, oh, your pedal board's creating a load of problems, then I'd look at it. But I'd never had that. So electric low end. You're saying thank you to Michael Anty. It's cool. Leo, I want to go with more heavy gauge for the JD. Well, go to 4000s, because that's the happy medium between heavy gauge strings and the bendability of the lighter gauges. So try that. And then if you want to go heavier still, you've still got room to play with. Gareth Harrison, do you use fast fret? Nope, never have. You know a few guitarists that do, but never used it yourself. No, again, I said this on a live chat, I think just before Christmas. For me, using something like fast fret, at the rate I used to do gigs years ago, it was cheaper and easier for me just to put a new set of strings on. When I had a string deal with Picato and they were £5 a set, it was cheaper than the thing of fast fret. So it made sense for me just to give the strings a quick wipe down after a gig and use it. Well, generally I'd get 25 to 30 to 35 gigs out of a set of strings. So I just replaced the strings. It just seemed like a cheaper and easier way of doing it. And it also means I'm not playing strings that are moving more into that realm of snapping. So if you're replacing them after 25 gigs, well, it's a brand new set of strings, isn't it? Leo, got to go for dinner. Catch you later. No problem. Take it easy. Soulstart, you appreciate the advice. What we're here for. Michael Anthony, is your Lakeland 5502 heavy? Heavy-ish, not overly so, I don't think. Yours is, but I like that about it. It's a quality slab of wood. Yep. Then you've got a 4402, and it's hardly a bit smaller, but it's light as a feather. It'll be the timbers. I bet your 5502's got a heavy old bit of ash there. Probably. I don't know if they play around with the... Here he is. It's that man with a voice for voiceovers. I'm not sure if Lakeland play around with the Skyline body timbers. Let's have a look. I don't think they use swamp ash. Carved mahogany back. Oh, no, it's a holly body. Hollow body. Skyline, let me just put in 5502. Ash, sometimes with fancy tops. Here we go. Let's just check this. I'm in Google. Bodywood, ash, there we go. That's probably what you got, Mike. 4402. I don't know if they use something else for that. Let's have a look. It's ash as well. I think maybe you got a bit of swamp ash on your 4-string then. Perhaps. Yeah. You might have got a bit of swamp ash there, which would be why it's lighter. Not swamp ash. Okay. Well, there we go. There's the differences between bits of wood. No, I don't think mine just feels substantial. Just what I'd expect it to be. Bear in mind, it's a 5-string, so you got more neck timber. It's going to be noticeably heavier than the 4-string, but yeah, there we are. We were just talking cables. Yes, we were. Do you positive? Oh, God, dear. Do you possibly know a way to check the quality of a cable with an ohm meter? I haven't got a clue. I don't go into things in that level of detail. Either a cable sounds good and it works for me, or it doesn't. So no, I've never gone down all of that. And I know some people do, and it's just another thing to worry about. Sometimes, I'm not saying it's you, Mike, of course. I do find sometimes people are looking for things to worry about. I think if you've got a good quality cable and it didn't cost you a fortune and it's reliable and it lasts you hundreds, if not thousands of gigs, that's good enough. But unless you are in a studio recording relentlessly, these are things you shouldn't be worrying about, as long as you don't buy cheap rubbish. If you buy a cheap cable, it'll be very evident when you plug it in. That's a cheap cable. But like I say, I've bought Whirlwinds for 30 years and I've only now got one that's causing me a problem. And that sort of level of quality is what works for me. Now, there are people that used to frequent a bass forum called The Bottom Line who would spend months and years talking about every type of cable and connection and jack and lead and this, and till the cows come home. I sometimes wonder, if you got nothing better to do with your time, do you not think maybe you'd be better off putting some hours in learning some stuff? That might be a better idea than talking about cables. But anyway, on our chat, that's not what we talk about all the time, so I'm happy to go down that avenue. But no, I don't know how to check the quality of a cable with an ohm meter. I don't. Gareth, not gone down that rabbit hole. If it works, it works. That's kind of my thinking too. If it works, yeah. I think there's too many other things to worry about on a gig. Like if the power's going to go down, or if the amp's going to blow up. Have you got your spare ready, and are you connected, ready to go? is the big hefty bloke at the front going to fall into the band? Does that bloke that's teetering around very drunk, is he going to be sick in the next 5 minutes? That's kind of the thing that's normally worrying me. But again, if your cable's not up to scratch, you'll know about it like instantly. So I wouldn't worry about those sort of things. Some people do; they love to worry about. Personally, I've got other things to like. Is the G string about to snap? That's more of a pressing question. But if you want to go down that avenue, there are tons and tons of threads and topics on bass forums to accommodate that sort of level of discussion. I just try and make sure I've always got at least 3 reasonable length, good quality cables in my gig case, and if I have, then I'm happy. Couple of it's happening again, isn't it? A couple of replacement patch cables, and that's pretty much it. I always have 3 speak-on cables, 2 jack to speak-ons, and a jack to jack for amps. 2 or 3 power cables and 2 plug boards, and that's it. You bought a kit of cable and solderless ends. It all sits in a drawer because I can't get the ends pushed onto the cable well. Live and learn. Yeah, again, I've seen all that stuff. I think we were going to get sent some back in the old days of the old magazine to test and review, and I just went, I don't want to go anywhere near that. I think you're worth putting money into recommended good quality cables and just get on with it. And like I say, if a cable's bad, you'll know about it. But generally, bad quality cables don't last very long in the market anymore, because people know, just buy a decent cable. Clots used to be the thing everyone wanted, and then Whirlwind sort of were there, and there were other makes, but yeah. To be honest, the cable, as long as it's good quality and it's working, not giving me any grief, is something I don't even worry about. And that's something I can say actually for Whirlwinds. I've never worried about them. As long as I know I've got a few in my gig case, I'm happy. But like I say, there is a problematic one now, which has got tape around both jacks, so I know it needs either repairing or throwing away. We will see. We will see. It's coming up towards 7 o'clock here in London, here in the UK. Hope you're all safe and well. Brooks's Bass Corner, live chat 153. Martin, you gigged with a single Whirlwind for years. There we go. They were readily available. I'm not sure how readily available they are now. I think they might be on most online retailers' cable section. I don't know. I used to buy 2 or 3 every year as we got round to the end of the accounts year, just because you can sling it in as consumables into your tax, and meant you were never short of a cable. Gareth, you were playing at an open mic on Thursday. Some idiot tried coming over trying to put his phone to my ear mid-song. Don't you hate that? To see if I knew a song he wanted to play. Let's just say he ended up on his arse. Good man. That's what I like to hear. Customer service, Gaz. Yeah. Service with a smile and a stab. Yeah. That sent him on his way. I can't bear people doing that. Once smartphones became a thing, I remember always at gigs, you get people at the front, and especially if there was a barrier, and they just literally hold their phone screen at you all night, and they type in text a song they wanted to hear. It's like, we've got our set list. We know what we're playing. So just turn your phones away. You literally get blinded by this sort of line of smartphone screens. It's like cripes. Yeah, the odd request here and there. Yeah, fine if we know it, or it's suitable, or it fits in with what we're playing. But when you get people starting to request drum and bass songs and you're a rock pop covers band, it's like, no, don't do that. Don't be that person. Beat after beats. Thank you very much. Bless your heart. $5 super chat donation. Thank you. Top work, my man. I thank you kindly. Appreciate that. Outstanding. Here to support. Bless your heart. How's your channel going? Hope it's all good. There we are. Good work, sir. Michael Anthony. I remember seeing bands on TV in the 60s and thought those curly patch cords looked cool. Here we go. Yeah. Lots of people did. They thought that was the thing. It really wasn't. Seemed like every band had at least one player with a curly cable. It's true. They're not good. They're not good. Gareth, it's a pet hate of mine. Going watching a band, the audience watching the whole gig through their phone. Agreed. Put it away and enjoy the gig. Exactly, couldn't put it better. I'm guilty of recording occasionally a chunk of a song, or perhaps at most one song. Like if there's something I know there's a bass solo or something coming up in that song, and I'll get the whole nugget. But people who spend the whole gig doing that, I say that I've enjoyed so many gigs on YouTube where people have filmed the whole gig. Very hard if it's a standing up crowd, because you get some bloke with either like that, sorry, or they're holding it on them. Stacy, Mr. Young said, sends his best and a tenner. Thank you very much, young Douglas. Much appreciated, sir. But I've seen many gigs on YouTube. Like I was watching Billy Joel's final Madison Square Garden gig earlier on. And what can I say? You know, had the guy not filmed it, I wouldn't have been able to see it. But very good. So there are bonuses to it, but I think if you're on the floor and it's a standing concert, it's bad form to stand there and just record the whole show. If you're in the seats and not everyone's standing up and you can hold your phone sort of relatively low so it's not impinging on the people behind you, that's not so bad. Thank you, Mr. Young, for your $10 donation. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my take on that, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I'm very aware of it when I'm at gigs, because I know someone I'm going to see. I'll know certain songs in the set. There might be a bit I want to get. If it's a level 42 show, I know the bass solo section is going to be worth getting. Young Gun Silver Fox, I know there's one or two songs in there I wouldn't mind having, and stuff like that. But I'll try and, I don't want to film the whole show. I'd rather watch the show and enjoy it. But if there's one or two songs, then again, I'll try and be as discreet about it as I can. But it's a different time. You see, we didn't have all of this before smartphones. Even with the old style phones, you could do videoing, but it really didn't look very good. It's Hoyt. Played a gig last night for the first time in a while. The crowd was meager, but eager. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. If the crowd are getting into it, that's all good. Indeed, 317 just got introduced to Henge. Holy, what a band. I don't know who they are. I'll have to check them out after this live chat. What sort of band? What are we talking here? They're not the Henge, are they? They're not a spin-off from Spinal Tap. Or maybe they are. Gareth, don't mind the odd bit here and there. I've done it myself, but it's just when they do it for the full gig, I get it. If you're in the seats, it's not so bad. But if you're on the standing on the floor or in the stalls seated, it makes it a real... Watch DNA, insane. All right, I'll check it after the live chat. I will do that. Oh, Message popped up there. Is like space funk rock. Okay, like a trippy band. Don't know how to describe. They're over in the UK. Okay, yeah, I will. I'll check it out later on. I will do that. Let's just check. We've got any new subscribers. We were at 132. We're still at 132, but that's fine. Viewers, well, go nearly 220. Thank you, folks. And it's just turned 7 o'clock here in London, here in the UK. Thank you for the views, gang. Very much appreciated. Let's just check we've got anything on the community tab. I think we're okay there. We are. That's all fine. And that's all working. And stream health is excellent. That's what we like. And that is oh, Michael Anthony's in now, isn't he? $19.99. Thanks, Mike. Fabulous. You've got to do this before your internet drops out again. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Good work. Wowzers. It's flying in this week. Very good. Fine work, folks. Fine work. Yeah. So have you got any questions about basses, bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass playing, albums with great bass playing on, of course. You want to talk about the new magazine? Feel free. Anything you want to ask, let me know. Stacey, having a laugh with Mike. Get you. Well done, Maestro. The Silver Tongue Cavalier. Yes, indeed. So only a couple of weeks now till the mag starts. The sampler issue gets launched. There's a link in description box if you're watching now or watching after we finish the live chat. If you want to take out a subscription with the new The Bassist magazine, which launches in 2 weeks' time, there's a link there. If you use that link, I'll put it in here as well. If you use that link, it allows the people at the subscriptions department to track how many subscribers come through Brooks's Bass Corner channels and socials. So I'll put that link in here. If you want to take out a subscription, there you go. Did I catch the Beato King of Glick interview? No, not yet. It's been a fairly rampant week. I've been video editing like a madman. So a lot of stuff online has sort of passed me by this week. Gareth, just got tickets for the Love. Can't say I'm the biggest fan, but my mum is, so I'm taking her. The Love. What's that? Who are they? I don't know. The Love. Flesh that out for me, Gaz. I don't know who you mean. I don't know who that is. The band Love. Again, is that something from the 90s? Oh, an American rock band from 65. Good Lord. Do you know what? This sort of band I've probably heard of but never listened to. That's probably... Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever listened to anything of theirs. Not knowingly. I do know that album cover, but yeah. Not really been on my radar, I can say. Sorry to admit. They have quite the fan base. Okay. Are they something I should check out, Gaz? What's your your opinion? Zuma, were we supposed to be recording the Rio episode of our much loved and much heralded Duran Duran series? I was under the impression we were doing that this weekend, but I didn't hear anything, so I assumed you were busy. Soulstar, okay, another question, that's good. Power supplies for pedal boards, okay, so many options. I'm making your first pedal board, which will have around 8 or 9 pedals. Isolated power supplies are recommended. Any recommendations? Yes, I bought the True Tone, the company that do the one spot. I did their, oh, where is it? It's in one of the boxes here. I bought it, it's going on my pedal board. In fact, let me go into my emails. I will tell you what I bought. Shopping, here we go. Base purchases. That, isn't it? Right, that would be 2024. So here we go. I bought the True Tone One Spot Pro CS12 multi-pedal power supply because it looked like it would cover all the eventualities I might have. That's the one I went with. Doesn't mean it's the ideal one for you, and there may be newer products out there. But that's the one I went with. That will be going on my pedal board before we start gigging for festival season. So, yeah. Michael Anthony, I've seen most of that Beato King interview. Must be something in the water in Poland. There's amazing bassists over there. I don't think they've got a lot of other things to do, if I'm honest. It's you get great musicians in places where there aren't tons of things competing for people's attention. You love the covers by Julia Plays Groove. Yes, she covers Real Life Monstrous. She's a good player. King of Glick's a good player too. Soulstart, new isn't always better. I couldn't agree more. But I do love the True Tone products. I've been using One Spot since, blimey, mid-2000s. Not long after they first sort of started appearing. I've got 3, and I'm still using the first one I bought. So it's got to be, if it's not 20 years old, it's very nearly 20 years old, and it's still going strong. So, and I have 2 spares, and now I've got that that isolated one. So, yeah. Zuma, I think next week, if you can. Yes, I can. Also had a hectic week. You were babysitting a dog, that's fine, which did not get along with your cat. Good one. Gareth, never really deep dived, only listened to one album, the hits. The album Forever Changes is worth a listen. Okay, maybe I'll have a listen. And Soulstart, you're going to check out those True Tone stuff. Good. They do a smaller one, but I've often found when a company does 2 products that are similar and one is smaller and one is larger, I've always needed the larger one eventually. So I always just buy that as a matter of course these days. Just gives you more headroom. It'd be really annoying if you spent a lot of money on the small, slightly smaller, less featured product, and then somewhere along the line you got to upgrade to the bigger one. Gareth, mainly going as my mum wants to. That's all right. You suddenly might find you like the band. Indeed. Sir Anthony over in the mobile chat. I see you're my guy. Hope you've been well. Phil's stream yesterday was pretty good. There we are. It's a sweater. Yeah. Zuma, that reminds me of Jerry Seinfeld got stuck with a big dog for a week. Yeah. Zuma's needs to be kept on his toes, you know, otherwise he lulls himself into a state of leisure. Soulstart, you played a phaser pedal this week, and wow, I really enjoyed the effect. Yeah, they can be good. Really funky, nice with reverb and delay. All of that. Which phaser pedal did you check out? They're not all the same. I can attest to that. I've probably got about 5 or 6 here. They all sound totally different. None of them sound remotely similar. The very first pedal I bought, was it the first? The first standalone pedal I bought was a phaser, Boss Super Phaser. And I bought it on the day in 1990 that Iraq invaded Kuwait. I've still got it. I've still got the original box with the original price tag on the box. So, yeah. So it comes out occasionally. It's a very different sounding phaser to my other phasers. The MXR Phase 90 block. Well, it's a legendary pedal, that is. When I was gearing up to do a Jimi Hendrix theatre tribute tour, just as we went into COVID, I had to buy a phaser. because there are a couple of tracks in there. It's totally what you want. And I did. I demoed loads of different MXR phaser pedals and by other brands. And I was close to buying that. and I ended up going for the EBS dephaser because I just felt it had better sounds, more thorough in the tone, and I could do a lot more with it for the price. And I wasn't disappointed. That's a great pedal. Michael, Nate, I'm not seeing you on the YouTube chat. No, okay, lads, we've had this discussion before. Right, so at the moment, because of the platform I'm running on into YouTube, it presents two separate feeds for the live chat. One is vertical, one is horizontal, but they're separate. They're not the same feed. On the screen, when you're watching, you'll see the chat messages. That should be showing everything. But in the chat window to the side of the video, if you're watching the horizontal feed, you will only see the messages that are sent by people using the horizontal feed. If you're in the vertical feed, you will only see the messages from people watching and messaging via the vertical feed. At some point, when I get my crap together, I will consolidate both into one feed, so we will run as one, and YouTube will do the detection based on the device you're watching on. So at the moment, when I go into my analytics on a Monday morning, I have two entries for the same live chat. It would help me a great deal if it was all consolidated and it was all just one number for the amount of views, but it's not. It's two separate numbers. But there we go. There we go. Right. And Soulstar, Aguilar Grape Phaser sounds cool. It does. It's a little polite, if I might say that. I did do a review of it back in the early days of this channel. And as time went by and I used more and tested more phasers, the Aguilar is fine. And it's a very good pedal. All Aguilar pedals are. But I have found with some of their effects, they can be a bit polite. So you don't get... Sometimes what you want from an effect is that wow effect. You just want it to take your tone, just like... Not hit people, but you want it... It's like with fuzz. You have a polite fuzz, you might as well not bother putting it on. You want to put it on and it's suddenly... And then you take it off. It's like a stamp on your bass tone. The Aguilar Grape Phaser, as lovely as it is, didn't do it for me. And when I was searching for a phaser pedal, so this goes back before we even had the YouTube channel, I was in Bass Direct and I must have tested about 7 or 8 phasers. And the Aguilar was not there. It wasn't in my top 3. It was the EBS, one of the MXRs, and I think there was a Boss. I think it was between those 3. There was a Boss, but it wasn't the Super Phaser. It was something else. It might have been the later progression of it. Yeah, Aguilar. All Aguilar stuff's expensive, sadly. Russell, good to see you. I have tried Zoom B1X4. I got mine new for $100 on a sale. Love it. Zoom has a huge tone print effects catalog. There you go. Might be worth checking out. It's surprising how a pedal board can become very expensive. Lewis, Brooks's Bass Corner to Lewis Wingrove. Are you there? Russell, I still haven't learned how to use the looping features yet because I've been playing with the sounds. That's okay. Bill Clements, good to see you. The Baseball's pedal is quite rude. Yes, indeed. Soulstart, Russell, I've got the Zoom MS70 CDR Plus for modulation. Russell, Baseball's pedal is a thing of its own, but yeah, it's cool. Yeah, that was the phaser pedal for many years. Kind of Jamiroquai taking up all those funky bass sounds suddenly got bass pedal manufacturers, and also obviously, how can I forget, the two go hand in hand. Jamiroquai and Red Hot Chili Peppers through the 90s suddenly created that demand for phaser sounds and envelope filter sounds and. Soulstart, what's your top 3 phasers at the moment? Well, still the EBS, the dephaser. I haven't used phaser pedal for a while. Oh, how could I forget? Sorry. The EBS would be second. My first would be the Source Audio Spectrum filter, which is my favorite envelope filter come phaser pedal. You can go in, connect it up to your PC, your Mac, or your laptop, whatever, and you can change all the parameters. It's the most flexible phaser pedal there is, as far as I'm concerned. Russell, baseballs is to bass what the Rangemaster is to guitars as far as legendary pedals go. Yeah, I'd second that. But the Source Audio, let me put, there's a, I think Bass the World did this. Bear with me a moment. They did a great review of it, which actually sold it to me. I ended up going and buying it. Source Audio. Helps you if you spell it properly, Mike. That'd be good. Here you go. Take a look. Take a look at this. So bear in mind, this isn't just phaser, but it does phaser really good. And let me find the Bass the World review. It's directly below it. It's had 83,000 views. I'm not surprised. It's a good video. Michael Anthony. Steve Lawson makes brilliant soundscapes with many effects on his bass. Sure glad he conquered his cancer. Yeah, I might be seeing him at the bass show. Don't know if he's going to be there. I would imagine he will be. Young Steve goes to the opening of a Chris Packet, so yeah, he'll be there. Well, he's on the mag. He's there. He's one of the tutors in the technique and theory section. He will be there. I would imagine. I would imagine he will. Especially as the magazine is launching at the show. We just passed 250 views of this live chat. Thank you very much, folks. Good stuff. Just checking that. That's all good. Yep, everything's fine. It's all working. Splendid. You're waiting for your first issue of The Bassist with bated breath. Yeah, it's a couple of weeks away. 2 weeks away until the show, so it'll be appearing. Just finishing up the videos from my end next couple of days. I had hoped to get the second amp video over to my editor yesterday, but it's just editing these clips. There's so much, and the PV rig, there were so many settings and controls that I had to kind of demo all those separate sounds. So there's a lot to cram in. I'm worried that some of the videos, if I let them get out of hand, they'll be 20 minutes plus, which I don't really want. I want to try and keep them to about 15 minutes where possible. So basses are easier, but on an amp, and you're using 3 different basses to show what the amps can do. You know, it had an EQ, and then it's got 6 filters at different shelvings. And it's based on the old Super Festival F800B amp. There's a lot going on there. But lovely rig, I have to say. There'll be a little moment of hilarity, though, for some of you. So I was reviewing it, playing away, and I kept hearing this sort of rattling, buzzing, and I'm thinking, is that in here? Is that in my room? And it wasn't. It was the front panel of the amp. It has screws on the front in each corner, but there's no screws halfway along. And this rattle was basically the front fascia of the amp, right slap bang in the middle. I found the frequency that was causing it. I play it, and this thing would go zzz, and I found if I put my finger on the front of the metal panel, right slap bang in the middle, it stopped. So I found the only way I could do it in order to get that review done was to put a piece of gaffer tape. I'm sure Barnes and Mullins and PV won't be very happy about this, but it's had to be. Sorry guys, you sent me an amp with a rattling fascia. I tightened all the corner screws up. It didn't solve it. Tell you what, next iteration of that amp, put a screw slap bang in the middle at the bottom of the panel. It will solve it. Put the gaffer tape on, stuck it down, and then curved it and pressed it against the fascia, and it stopped. Don't expect that from £1,000 amp, but there we go. It happens. And because it was, I'm guessing the metal isn't like a thick, rigid panel like you would have had on the Orange, big metal plates. This thing's probably thinner aluminium, I guess. And it was just rattling at the bottom. As soon as I put my finger against it, it stopped. It's like, right, okay. So how do we stop that from rattling? But not to worry, we got there. Michael Anthony, how often will issues of the basses come out? Is it quarterly? It is, every 3 months. So the sampler issue is the end of this month. So I'd imagine you've got that by the first week in March. Then the first proper issue is released on June the 5th. And then the next one, let me go into my emails, I'll tell you, so I'm accurate. Just bear with me a moment. I'm just going through the list from the publisher. Yeah, first issue is 5th of June, second issue is 4th of September, third issue is 20th of November. 84 pages. Yeah, there we are. So June, September and December. I mean, I've seen what the back page is. I can tell you. I'm not going to show you, but I can tell you it's an interview with me. Because apparently I'm going to be having a column on the back page, Brooks's column, of course. And Joel said, I want to interview you for the first sampler issue. I went, are you sure? Who's going to want to read about me? He said, you'd be surprised. I said, I'd be very surprised. So he did that. God, that must have been at the start of January. So he sent me through the PDF a couple of days ago. And yeah, reads okay. I was all right with it. So you'll see my dreary face on the back inside page, on the back cover. It was a surprise to me. I don't. Yeah, I'm going to do an interview with you. Why? Why are you doing that? I'm a writer for you. Why? He said, no. You'd be surprised. So I'd be very surprised. There we go. Brooks's column. Exactly. Get your monthly dose of Brooks's column. How about that? So, yeah. I'm not sure what my column is going to be about monthly. He hasn't told me yet. But it's fine. First one's not required until middle of May. So, in fact, I should ask him that tomorrow. What is my column going to be? But he hasn't told me what he wants me to do yet. So, I think it's more about getting this sampler issue out and seeing what the feedback is, I guess. See what the feedback is from retailers, distributors, manufacturers, see what they think. I'm hoping it's all positive. We'll have to wait and see. But And I haven't seen any of it yet, so it's all well and good me saying we're going to come out with the best bass mag we, around, but I haven't seen any of it yet. I've seen some of the stuff that they've... Hounds. What's that? Bear with me a moment, folks. Okay. What was I saying? I've seen some of the stuff they've prepped. So if you follow the magazine on Facebook or Instagram, you'll have seen like the Flea article, which will be in the sampler issue. I think the Godan review. There was something else as well, which I shared on the socials, of course. Gareth, you're going to have to get going. You've got a gig at 9 p.m. Goodness me, you youngsters got gigs everywhere, I tell you. Good. Go and enjoy. Go and enjoy. Gareth will listen en route in the car, but won't be able to comment. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you for listening. Just drive carefully, young man. Drive carefully. We are approaching 275 viewers tonight, so thank you very much, folks. Good to have you along. It is coming up at 7:30 here in London, here in the UK. This is Brooks's Bass Corner, broadcasting out to the world. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players. Anything to do with bass, not bass, that's fishing, that's another channel. But bass and bass guitars, that's what we're here for. So you got any questions, put them in the comment section of the live chat window. Press send, it'll appear here in the live chat window, and we'll try and answer for you. So happy to help, and if we can guide you in any way, maybe you're looking at some new gear, maybe some techniques, need some help with some technical inquiries, shall we call them. We'll do our best. That's what we're here for. So yeah, hoping the mag flies, really. We will see. I don't see any reason why it won't, to be fair. Although I don't know my editor's plans going forward on what we're going to feature and how we're going to do it. I'm guessing he's keeping that part of his powder dry at the moment. But the fact that we're not going to be going at breakneck speed every single month makes it, in theory, a lot better, because we can actually spend time and consider what we're doing and not rush things. Not that we rushed stuff before, but it was always, we were working to a very strict deadline every single month, and it made things a bit tricky on occasion where if we were waiting for stuff from outside like companies or detail on gear, or you were trying to do an interview with someone, they kept pushing the date back and back and back, and it's like, no, you're earmarked for that issue, it's got to be done. But yeah, we will see. Looking forward to getting my hands dirty with it, put it that way. Well, I know I am, because I'm already spent the best part of 3 or 4 days on this second video review. So, but it's okay. It's okay. It's got to get done. The problem is, as I'm saying, doing reviews of amplification, and this is something I haven't really done here on the channel, because my point has always been very hard to replicate the sound of an amp or a cabinet live, mic'd up, and upload it. You get 2 hits of compression before you as a viewer get to hear it. So it's not the same as what I've heard here in the room, because when you render a video, it gets compressed once, and then when it gets uploaded to YouTube, it gets compressed twice. So 2 hits of compression, it's not the same thing, is it? So what we've been doing with the mag is I've basically set up ambient mics, and it's picking up the sound of the room, which is a bit more like what you would hear. It's a bit more real world rather than a studio, what's the word? a studio application of doing it, where you'd put the mic close to the cone and you'd be getting that bloom of note as it came out the speaker. In here, you're getting it in the whole room, which I think is a bit more indicative of what you would hear. But still, very hard to replicate that. A bass going into an audio interface is a different thing. I've got some more control over that. It's less what you're hearing in the room. It's more, well, it's a direct feed, isn't it? It's a bit more clinical. And trying to record bass, oh my God. The frequencies bleeding and clipping the software. Editing this for the PV. Generally, anything I record for the channel audio, whether it's a bass demo, a pedal demo, whatever, you boost the signal and try and make it as loud as you can before it starts distorting and clipping. With amplification, you're dealing with a whole load of frequencies spread across a room. And normally I can, well, on a human voice, if I'm talking, I'll boost between 12 and 20 dB, maybe. On a bass demo, probably 10 to 12. On an amp demo, I'm lucky if I can get 4 dB of boost before it's already starting to clip and distort and make weird noises within the rendering engine. Really hard, really hard. It's actually quite frustrating because I don't think, like I found with the PV one, it's the frequency that's causing the problem, not the loudness of it. Because when you're actually looking at the sound wave file, it's not hitting peaks, really. But it's still causing little clicks and what have you within the software. So we'll get there. We will get there. Electric lowering, but you didn't forget your teeth. I never forget my teeth. I can't. They're firmly attached. But, you know, it's... the old mistakes sort of pop out here and there, don't they? Michael Anthony, got to go grab some grub with for wifey and me. Speaking of what, I need to like this on her phone. Thank you. You scamps are talking bass again. We are. Yeah, it'll be us, won't it? It's us. Hello, Mrs. Anthony. Yeah, it'll be us every Sunday, pretty much. Oh, very good. So yes, those are the joys of amplification reviews. So I will do some on here. I've always wanted to do some. I just find it problematic in my brain, trying to work out. Maybe I'm being too precious about it. Maybe people watching don't care, but I care. I care that the representation you see in the video is not the representation I have in real life. So, and I know plenty of amplification companies put up their videos and people love them and what have you. I just don't think it's accurate, if I'm honest. If it's just the amp and you're taking a DI out or a line out and that can go into your audio interface, that's fine. But in terms of cabinet projection and sort of audio display, I don't think it's representative accurately. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll wait and see how these mag reviews go, and they will be up as part of the magazine when they launch. They'll be here as magazine. Brains frazzled. They will be here on the channel as reviews about 8 weeks after publication. So all the work I'm putting in on this magazine in terms of reviews, all of that work will come onto the YouTube channel roughly 8 weeks after publication. So It's all good. It's all good. Anyone's got any questions? Fire away. Put your questions and comments in the live chat box at the bottom of the live chat feed. Press send and it'll appear here on the screen. And then I can reply to it. We can reply to it, even. Spring is coming. Can't get here quick enough, frankly. Roll on summer. Festivals. Piling up in my diary. Cheers all. Have a good weekend. Hope you're having a good weekend. Some places on the planet, they're already into Monday. The poor fools. So demos will be up this week. I thought I was going to film some extra ones yesterday, but as I say, I've been editing this PV amp rig review. And it takes time. It takes time. You got to cut all the footage down into the sort of sections where I keep making changes on the amp front and the bass front. And you're still in Sunday where you are, electric low end. Good, good, good. But yeah, it takes time. I was looking, when I fired up the machine, started editing this afternoon, it was like this long stream of video and sound cut into hundreds of segments. I was like, crikey, where do I start on all this? But we got there. It's all edited now. I've just got to finish doing the audio for the review, and then I can literally put the audio in, line the graphic and the videos up. It's chunks. Segments, you can't see it. It's too bright. Maybe lots of sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bits. 12 sections in each video. Beat after beat is 236 there in the States, East Coast. Good for you, sir. I hope your weather's better than it is here. I thought I was going to be doing this live chat from the Ark today. We've had so much rain the past week. Today, I mean, I woke up this morning. It was absolutely hammering down. The wind was awful as well. Yet we had a lovely day yesterday, if a little cold. But at least it was sunny, predominantly. But today, oh my God. We did get the dogs out eventually around lunchtime. The rain stopped, but it just looks grim on the weather app for literally like the next 2-3 weeks. It is what it is, isn't it? We had a lovely long summer last year from April till sort of November, and now we're paying the price for it. So it is electric low end. It's been a cold winter. The lowest we got was -27. We've had a really good winter here in London. We've had like a week where it went really cold, and then there was a week to a fortnight where it went cold again. But other than that, we've been okay. I know other parts of the UK have had a lot of rain, lots of snow and ice, but here in London we haven't, so I won't complain. Beat after beat, we're supposed to get rain and thunderstorms this week. It doesn't end, does it? It is winter, correct. That's it. In Detroit. Yeah. Never been there, but I hear it's lovely. If anyone's got any suggestions for things they would like to see on the channel, bass-wise, let me know. See if I can add anything else to the list. I'm working through the ideas on the board, on my whiteboard, I have to say. There is a new series. I did intimate this a couple of weeks back, but I was working on it the other day. So we do have the podcast to come. We do have the Fretless Odyssey, which is 3 years overdue. Sorry. I do have in the offing, and Stacey knows because I showed her the thumbnail for the first video, I'm going to do a series called Bass Basics, for people starting from scratch. What is a bass guitar? How do you start? How do you start playing? What do you need to know? What don't you need to know? I think we're probably going to run to 10 episodes and we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I thought I'd do it. I get requests from beginners all the time. And I thought, okay, we can address that. You know, you're starting from scratch. Grown men in their later years got basses at Christmas and probably have no clue where to start. Don't want to get lessons, but would like to know how to play. Well, I can address that. I can help with that, certainly. If you think so, Beat After Beat says. I don't know. I've never been there. You've been there for 58 years, okay? I will move into Mike's garage for the rest of the year. You'd struggle. It's full. I can't get anything in my garage, so good luck with that. And there's an extension starting there in about 6 to 7 weeks, so good luck with that. Here we are. People saying hello. Don't forget, folks, the Super Chat facility is there if you wish to contribute to the channel. Super Thanks is there if you're watching after the event and you want to contribute something to Brooks's Bass Corner, you can. The Super Thanks facility exists on every single video here on the channel, of which there are over 1,000 videos. And again, as I say, everything you see on the videos is all paid for by me. We don't get any freebies. So all those Super Chat contributions, Super Thanks contributions, they really do help. They go towards all the subscriptions for like VIDIQ and blah, blah, blah. All the stuff you see on the workbench, all of that gets paid for by me. All of this sort of stuff, I have to pay for all that. None of it gets sent to me for free. So it's all good. If you want something for your money, then check out the merch links in the description box below. 25% off up until midnight tonight. So if you've been holding off buying some Brooks's Bass Corner merch, maybe some t-shirts or a hoodie or caps, mouse mats even. All of that is there in the merch stores. So there's a UK and Europe store and a US and worldwide store. But up until midnight tonight, 25% off. Yes, sir. You buy my sodas. Oh, Mike, so I don't know. That's obviously a brand we don't get here in the UK. Oh, you're buying these, are you? I think that's the last one we had in the fridge, actually. Of these, yeah. Electriloan, you got to take a shower. Be back shortly. Okay. Still enjoying your merch mug? Good stuff. It's been in constant use. It washes well, doesn't it? Those designs, I tell you, the mugs are seriously good. They do last. The old dishwasher can't beat a Brooks's Bass Corner mug. That's for sure. So there will be some new pedal review videos going up sometime soon. Just got to get these bass demo videos out. And yeah, they will be appearing. All the pedals, you can't really see because the microphone, if I move that out the way, you'll see those blue tubs. There's actually lots of them. They've all got pedals in. So I'll be wading through a whole bunch of those very shortly. And I do have the, or some of, the Sonic Cake pedals here, which I've meant to do reviews of like a year and a bit ago. So there's a whole bunch of these. Anyone's seen these on Amazon? They're quite cheap. They're about £25, $30. They cover most of the major sort of effect types. This is an octaver. They're small. They sound really good. So I'll be doing some reviews and demos of these. I need to crack on with it. It's another job. It just sort of sits there waiting for me to do it. But I will get these done and get them up and out very soon. Oh, dogs are kicking off again. They love a shout, these two. That's because their mum's about to come back through the front door. So yes, the Sonic 8 pedals. Try and rattle through those quite quickly with a bit of luck. George Iliadis, good to see you. Hope you're well. Everything's okay in down in Oz. Just checking. I've got a message here. Just spare me a moment. Okay. Yeah. That's all fine. Done. Right. Good. It's all go on Brooks's Bass Corner tonight, I tell you. That's fine. Just check if we've got any community tab messages. Oh, we have. Who's this? I'm guessing you might even be watching. She only left this message 11 minutes ago. If you do not mind me, I have a chance to get a Manson 90s bass for $1,000. I can't find any reviews anywhere on if they are quality. It's the same line John Paul Jones play. I will reply. If you're watching, I can't. What's that? G Myers Gilmer 9470. You've just left me a message on the bass collection video. You've asked about a Manson 90s bass that you've been offered. I will respond to you very, very shortly once this live chat finishes. And I will send you, or I can send you if you send me your email address, a review I did of Manson's John Paul Jones bass from about 2021, I think. Yeah, it must have been 2021 because it was around the same time that Pete Way passed on. Yeah, I will send that to you after the live chat. No problem. Where are we? So we've just hit over 300 views of tonight's live chat. Well done, folks. Good to have you. Okay, there's messages there. Mike, what is an English summer all about? Well, we had one last year. I can say it was actually probably the best period of summer I've ever had in my life here in the UK. It started round about second week in April, and the temperatures stayed very nicely consistent right up until about the second week in November. It didn't get cold. Normally here it stays cold until May. In fact, I can remember June in 2024 being really cold up until the second week. And normally we get cold here from about October. Didn't happen last year. It stayed warm right up until November, second week, and started in the second week of April. It was like lovely. If we get the same again this year, I'll be very, very happy. George Iliadis, wanting to ask for some time. Yeah, have I tried or know about the Bugera Veyron bass amp? I know of it, never played one. You've seen some mixed reviews. I think it's not that expensive, but I don't know how reliable it is. So if you see video demos and reviews and it sounds good, then that's fine. But if it's not very expensive and it sounds fine, potentially you're going to get some reliability issues, because what happens is these companies make things to sound good. You buy it, and if it goes wrong, it's actually cheaper. As I was saying to Gareth earlier, same with MarkBass, it's cheaper for you to buy a new amp than to have it repaired. So these companies kind of work on that. It's not built-in obsolescence, but when it goes wrong, it goes wrong. So, as I say, it's cheaper to just buy a new amp than it is to have it repaired. So if you are seeing mixed reviews, I would guess it's probably fallen into that bracket. But I've got no first-hand experience of it. I don't even know if we even had one at the magazine for review when they came out. And I can't remember how long they've been out. Maybe someone else did the review. I don't know. But certainly I've got no experience of playing through one. I know some people who've got them, and they say they're good amps. You know, Wouldn't put it in the same league as an Aguilar amp, but, you know, depends what you want your amp to do. At the moment, I'm in a position where I don't really use a lot of bass amplification all that often. Most of the gigs I'm on IEMs, and I'm running out of a preamp pedal on my pedal board. But that can all change, of course. Suddenly ended up in a band where I had to use backline and amps, and, you know, I'm good to go. So, I mean, when I do the Queen tributes, I still take amplification. And I still generally do for ABBA, only because the ABBA band I occasionally play in, the band leader likes a bit of bottom end amplification kind of behind him. So I take one cabinet and an amp, and but even that, the girls in that ABBA band don't like bass swamp all over the stage, so I have to make the cabinet very directed towards the band leader and nowhere else. Otherwise, that bass end bleeds all over the stage, and the female singers don't like it. George, the lack of a dealer, I guess you mean to put there. Are you meaning there's no Australian dealer for that? Beat after beat, there are songs about an English summer must be popular. Now, an English summer is a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, last year aside, most English summers are bookmarked with huge thunderstorms and cold. So you don't get a particularly warm, long, sunny summer. And Lord knows, last year aside, the past 4 or 5 have been fairly mediocre, to be fair. But last year was well, like I say, I don't remember a summer as good as last year in my lifetime. So if we get another one of those, I'm very happy. George, lack of a dealer network concerns me. I mean, I don't know how much those amps cost. So look at some other things that are similarly priced. And if those companies do have a dealer network, then I'd go with that. There's nothing worse than buying an amp or putting your money into a brand that when you need help and something goes wrong, there's no support. This is what I'm saying about it. I would suspect that amp isn't very expensive and it sounds really good. So then people go and buy it. And then when it goes wrong, your only resolution for the problem is to buy a new amp. So the fact they don't really have a dealer network where you are would kind of say to me, that's the problem you're going to face if that amp goes wrong, in which case don't even bother. For a bass player of nearly 40 years, having done 31 years as a professional, gigging extensively, I wouldn't go near an amp that didn't have backup in one means or another. If you've got an amp tech or an amp repairer near you, go and speak to them before. Ask them, have you had any of these amps come in? And if they haven't, say, okay, if I bought one, are you able to fix it? Because a lot of amp repairers now just don't really want to go near Class D. Some people do, because they clearly know there's a market for it, because that's what the majority of amps that are being sold are, and they know there's money there to be made. But as I say, if the cost of having the repair is the same or more than having a new amp, you might as well just buy a new amp. Beat after beat, Dolby and XTC did a song. Yeah. When we have a good English summer, it's great. When it's not a good one, it's crap. Because basically all it becomes is an extension of winter. Cold, wet and horrible. Not ideal. Not ideal. But there we are. There we are. I mean, what have you read, George, about that amp? Tell me what you've read. Or what you've heard. Maybe on videos. Let me know. Right, let's check, see if we've got any new subscribers. We had one earlier. Any more? Yes, we've had another one. If you're watching, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining in. Thanks for getting on the bus. I hope you find some content here on the channel that works for you. just check any community tab messages. Only that gentleman. I will deal with your post once we finish this live chat. Kev, Raphael, Lamborghini or a Ferrari? Don't know. Don't know. When things go wrong on either of them, it's an arseache. Don't know. Can't answer that. Can't answer that. I'll throw one back at you. Alembic or Federa? Beat after beat. Take care. You off. Have a blessed week. Will do. Will do. Good to see you. Thank you for your super chat donation. Thank you. Just checking. Everything's all firing as it should do. Yep. 315 views, folks. Thank you. Good to have you along. If you've got any questions about bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players, anything to do with your gear, if you're trying to sort your bass or your amp or effect pedal, let me know. If we can help, it's what we're here for. It's gone a little quiet. If there's anything you've seen on the channel over the past week, you want to ask anything about, feel free. If you've checked out any of the interviews, you want to ask any questions or anything from any of the reviews or demos, then let me know. I'll try and help as much as I can. Very pleased to read that one of my workshop videos helped someone solve their bass that had a problematic neck, and he watched one of the videos and sorted the problem himself. Excellent. That's the whole point of the videos. Well done, sir. Glad to be of service. George, the tube model sounds great, rated at 2,000 watts. Where are you ever going to use 2,000 watts? That's a selling, that's a USP. It's not accurate. No, it's not. 2,000 watts. Where are you going to use 2,000 watts? It's a bit like having a Ferrari or a Lamborghini here in the UK. You can never drive those cars at speeds that they've been designed to be driven at, because the UK roads have a speed limit of 70 miles an hour. Why do you need 2,000 watts? It's crazy. However, the price concerns you. Very, very cheap for that much grunt. It's what I say it again, George. The reason they're cheap is because when they go wrong, they just want you to buy another one, not get it fixed. Personally, I wouldn't want to be buying into that. But if that's your thing, go for it. But like I say, when it comes to getting fixed, if something goes wrong or it just stops working, I suspect you're going to have to throw it away and buy a new one. And that's what they're working on. Built-in obsolescence, which keeps their production lines moving. Because if you like it and it goes wrong, you're just going to buy another one. And then when that one goes wrong, you'll buy another one and another one and another one. Whereas I like buying one and keeping it for a long time. But having said that, if you're a very busy live playing bass player and you got 1,000 gigs out of a relatively cheap amp model, you wouldn't begrudge just throwing it away and buying a new one. Would you? Really? If I paid, I don't know, 300 quid for an amp and I got 1,000 gigs out of it, it's more than paid for itself. Let's have a look at this amp. You've made me inquisitive now. Right. Right, on off button, clip mute, minus 15 dB pad gain, compressor, ultra low bass, mid sweet treble, ultra high master. Right, what's on the back end? 2 outputs, speak on, phones, tuner out, effects loop, foot switch, auxiliary in, and then all. Well, I mean, it's featured. It's fully featured. Let's have a look, see what the prices are. How do I get out of that? Okay, there's 2 variants. There's a MOSFET and a tube version. So in America, the solid state one is $219 and the tube one is $350. Okay. Over here in the UK, the MOSFET one is £229, £229, and the tube one is £299. The Class D bass amp, the MOSFET. Like I say, at that price, it goes wrong, you're just going to buy another one. 3-year warranty. Well, in my busiest years, I would have done close to 200 gigs a year. You're going to get 600 gigs out of that on their warranty. It's designed and engineered in Germany. Good. Problem with warranties is that, in theory, yes, it'll get replaced, but invariably they'll find a way to get around it, so they haven't got to replace it. It's no possible to comment on its durability with improvement. Oh, that's not really a review, is it, mate? Okay. It's a bit hard for me to offer any sort of real opinion because I've just not tried one. So, I think, I hate saying this, I hate it as a saying, but you pays your money and takes your choice, really. It's just whether you're prepared. I mean, you might buy one and it never blows up or never goes wrong. But the problem with things like that, dry joints, problematic little issues that become really difficult to solve. If you bought the tube version, I want to know how easy it is to change the tubes. You know, how far into the casing and the circuit board have you got to go to take the old tubes out and put new tubes in? I don't know. I would suggest going and trying it in a store against other amps of a reasonably similar spec. You know, nothing else is going to say 2000 watts, is it? But put it up against an Aguilar AG700, a few other amps, see what it sounds like. See, that's the thing, when things are that cheap, you know, 229 quid, that's what the price of the Trace Elf was when it kind of came out, maybe a little bit more. And you look at it and size and features and sound, if it's great for that money, then go for it. But you can't expect, I mean, I've seen, you know, very expensive amps go wrong very quickly after being bought. So for something that cheap, it could go wrong. It might not. You got a 3-year warranty. Like I say, I'm always a bit wary of actually what warranties cover them, whether they're sort of stood by or not. But only you can make that choice, George. I mean, I'd hope either the retailer or the company would stand by it, but you just never know, do you? Really. You don't know until you have to call it into action, pretty much like an insurance policy. You don't know until you have to sort of call it into play. Let me know how you get on if you do go for it, and see what you think. We've had 330 views. Thank you, folks. Outstanding work. Which model do you think you're going to go for, George? If you're still there. Are you buying this mail order? So you can't actually go into a store and try it before you buy it? Always concerned when not in stores. Alembic all the way. Yeah, quite. Yeah, that was my. That's why I said it. Hmm. Yeah, as you say, if they're not in the store and you can't try it, then you're kind of buying blind. I think you just got to take a punt. It's up to you whether you want to pay that money for it. Where are you going to be using it, George? Gigs or just at home or what? Coming in, folks. If you want to talk basses, bass guitars, bass effects, great bass players. If you're looking for some advice on bass gear, let me know. If I can help, it's what I'm here for. Eventually, gigs, I hope. Okay. Well, the acid test for that amp will be on gigs when you've got to start pushing it. Has it got a fan? I didn't see a fan in the housing, actually. Let's check that. That's normally why a Class D amp goes down, is that there's no fan and it overheats. Ah, yes, there are. One on the left-hand side. I mean, I like the design. I like the look of it. To be fair. Okay. Okay, folks, it's gone a bit quiet on here. I'll start winding this up in 5 minutes or so, unless there's a flurry of activity and questions and comments. If I can be of any service, let me know. I haven't checked out any of the videos, so I'll have a look at those later, George. Are you imminently going to buy one of these? Is this like red hot on the shopping list, or is it just something that you're inquisitive about? Okie dokes. It's definitely gone very quiet. I'm just having a look at the analytics. It's gone very, very quiet. George, I like the look of it. Very true, however, the gigs is where they get tested. They all sound great at home. Yep. You'll know whether it's any good once it's doing gig after gig after gig and being set up and broken down and put in a bag and back to another gig. And that's where the acid test is, really. Very easy to set an amp and a cab up at home and it works perfectly all the time. You get it out going in and out of a car all the time, and reliability issues soon become very apparent. Okay, one more time with feeling, folks. If you got any questions, anything to do with basses, bass guitars, bass amps, bass pedals, bass effects, cleaning materials, looking after your basses, looking after your gear, setting up pedal boards, doing gigs, going to auditions, anything I can help with. Put your questions and comments in the chat box, press send, and I'll see it here in the live chat. New subscribers, I think we're all good. Yeah. And viewers, yeah. Community tab. Right, all done. Good. Okay, folks, I'm going to wind it up early. We're going to have an early night tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in to the live chat. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to all the super chat contributors. Much appreciated. So coming up on the channel, bass demos this week. I've still got the Gary Beers interview from In Excess. That needs to be sort of published, put out to you folks. That might appear this week. I'm going to finish off my mag stuff. Hopefully get that new series up and running as well. So keep checking back on the channel. Thank you to all the messages tonight. It's very much appreciated. On that note, I'm going to put a little graphic in, and it's going to appear here on the vertical stream, and it'll appear there. Oh, wrong way, that way, there, for the horizontal viewers. So that will be a link through to the reviews playlist. So as I say, it'll be there on the vertical stream, and there, no, that way, on the horizontal. Come on, Mike, rehearse this. I'll be putting a link there to the bass reviews playlist. So if you want to check out some of the reviews here on the channel, feel free, click on that link. It will take you right through. There's loads of basses on there, loads of basses I've reviewed in the 5.5 years that the channel's been running. On that note, have a great week. If you've got any gigs coming up, drive safely, get home safely, enjoy your gigs, and I'll see you same time, same place next Sunday. Take it easy. Have a great week.